Grace and peace to you, dear brothers and sisters. Today we celebrate a beautiful and powerful feast in the church, Pentecost Sunday. It is a day we remember when the Holy Spirit came upon the apostles and changes everything. The disciples were afraid, they were confused, they were hiding, and then suddenly everything shifts. The Holy Spirit comes like a mighty wind and like fire, and they are no longer the same people. Fear turns into courage, silence turns into boldness, and they go out to speak about Jesus. The striking thing here is that people from many different nations were gathered in Jerusalem. Different languages, different cultures, different backgrounds, yet each person hears the message in their own language. Not confusion, but understanding. Not division, but unity. That is the work of the Holy Spirit. If we think about it, this is the opposite of what happened at Babel in the Old Testament, where people became divided because they could not understand one another. At Pentecost, God heals that division, not by making everyone the same, but by helping everyone understand the same message of love in their own way. And that speaks so strongly to our world today, because honestly, we still struggle to understand one another. We live in a world where people talk a lot, but don't always listen, where differences in culture, opinion, or background too often create tension instead of connection. But Pentecost is God's invitation to something better. The Holy Spirit teaches us a different kind of language, not just words, but the language of patience, the language of kindness, the language of listening before reacting, the language of love that tries to understand before judging. And maybe that is the real miracle of Pentecost. Not just that people could speak in different tongues, but that our hearts were finally open to understand one another. Because when the Holy Spirit is at work in us, we stop seeing people as strangers and start seeing them as brothers and sisters. We begin to build bridges instead of walls. We begin to listen with more humility and speak with more love. As we celebrate Pentecost, let us ask the Holy Spirit to soften what is hard in us, to open what is closed in us, and to bring unity where there has been division. Peace be with you.
Save the Holy Spirit. This touched me because it reminds me that God never leaves us alone. He gives us His Spirit to guide and strengthen us every day. It also reminds me to trust in the Holy Spirit more in my words, actions, and relationships, so I can bring peace, love, and forgiveness to others. Happy Sunday.